There is a big update tonight about the civil case against rappers Diddy and Jay-Z. The person who filed the case has now dropped it. Last hour, you asked me if Tony Busby gave a reply to Jay-Z. The answer is yes, he gave a reply. Now, here's what everybody is talking about. The case, which had some very serious claims against Diddy and Jay-Z, has now been closed. But this is not just a simple closing. It has been dismissed with prejudice, which means the case is fully over and it cannot be brought back again. Many people are talking about this right now. This case cannot be brought back to court in the same way, but the big question is, why? Is it because there was not enough proof, or is there something bigger happening behind the scenes? Let us break it all down because this is not a simple story. To understand how everything started, we need to go back to the beginning. The case was filed by a woman who used the name Jane Doe. She said that something very bad happened to her in the year 2000, at a time when Diddy and Jay-Z were very successful. According to her, this happened after the MTV Video Music Awards. She said she was taken to an after-party and then found herself in a very scary situation with both Jay-Z and Diddy. At first, the case was only against Diddy, but later, Jay-Z was also added. The claims made it look like a huge scandal that could shake the whole music industry. Jay-Z gave a very strong reply. He said that Jane Doe's lawyer was trying to blackmail him. He also said, "These claims are so serious that I ask you to take this to criminal court, not just file a civil case." Jay-Z made it very clear that if someone really did something so bad to a minor, that person should be put in jail. But this is where things start to get complicated. From the very beginning, Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, strongly said that these claims were not only false but completely made up. He did not just say the accusations were not true, he fought back with full force. He called the case a blackmail attempt and said that the lawyer, Tony Busby, planned everything to take money from him. Carter did not stop there. He said in public that he would not settle the case or pay even a single penny to make it go away. And that is when everything became even more serious. Jay-Z kept his word and did not step back. On the other hand, Sean Combs, who is already facing many legal problems, also denied the claims. His legal team said that these accusations were just part of a pattern where people were making false cases against him to get quick money. Jay-Z was able to get the case closed very fast, but Combs has not been that lucky. His name is still connected to many legal battles, and right now, he is sitting in jail, waiting for his trial on other very serious charges. But we will talk more about that later. As expected, he is not just angry, he is extremely furious. She even said that she might have mistaken some of the people involved. That is a very big problem when you are trying to prove something in court. This statement, along with what Jay-Z's team called a complete lack of real proof, became a very important turning point in the case. Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, did not stay quiet either. He said that the claims were false and praised Jay-Z for standing strong and refusing to give up. Jay-Z stood strong against these very serious and false claims. He did something that very few people can do. He fought back. He never settled, he never paid even a single penny, and in the end, he proved his innocence. His lawyer, Alex Spiro, made it very clear, Jay-Z did not just defend himself, he won. But for Jay-Z, this was about much more than just his name. It became very personal. He said that the stress and pain this case brought to his family, his wife, Beyoncé, and their 3 children was something he would never be able to forgive. The timing made everything even worse. The case was filed right before his daughter, Blue Ivy, had a very big moment at the Lion King, turning what should have been a very happy time into a very stressful one. This is a very big problem because it clearly shows that the case, as it is right now, has no life left in it. The exact reason for this decision has not been officially shared, but people everywhere are talking about it. Did they realize that their case was not as strong as they first believed? Or did someone or something make them step back forever? What makes this even more interesting is that closing the case has not stopped the rumors. If anything, it has only made people even more curious. Some believe that there is much more to this story than what we are being told. Some people are now thinking that Jay-Z's strong response and refusal to settle may have had something much bigger behind it. After all, it is not every day that someone faces such a big lawsuit and walks away without any damage. Could there be more to this story than what we can see? This is very interesting because this case had been building up for a long time, and there were talks between Tony Buzbee and Jay-Z's legal team. Both sides had very strong personalities, and neither one was ready to step back easily. And then, there is the bigger question: what really happened behind the scenes? While Jay-Z is celebrating what he sees as a big victory, Sean Combs is in a very different situation. He is facing a very long and difficult battle. Right now, there are more than 40 lawsuits against him, and many of them are connected to very serious accusations that go back many years. On top of that, he is sitting in jail, waiting for a trial that could send him to prison for the rest of his life. His legal team has said that these lawsuits are nothing more than exaggerated stories made to get attention. But with so many accusations coming in, one thing is very clear: his fight is far from over. Particularly fascinating is the contrast between how these two music moguls are navigating their respective legal issues. Jay-Z through sheer force of will, or even though this case has been dismissed, some people believe this may not be the last time Sean Combs faces legal trouble. Could more people come forward now that this case has received so much attention? Or is there something else hidden, waiting to come out? For now, these are only rumors, but in the world of celebrity scandals, when people start talking, there is usually something behind it. And then there is the lawyer at the center of everything, Tony Buzbee. He is known for being very aggressive and for handling big, high-profile cases. He is not someone who gives up easily. Tony Buzbee is not the kind of person who gives up easily. While he has not said anything about this case being dismissed, his past statements make one thing very clear: he is not afraid to challenge powerful people. But has his strategy of filing many lawsuits against famous figures worked against him? Or is this only a small step back in a much bigger plan to hold powerful people responsible? Only time will tell. He has already said that more lawsuits will be coming. He mentioned that at first, the names may not be very big, but there is a long list of people involved. And in situations like this, anything can happen. As for Jay-Z, he is now focused on moving forward. After the case was dismissed, Jay-Z made it very clear that he feels he has been proven right. He called this not just a victory for himself, but also for anyone who has ever been falsely accused. The system has failed, he said, explaining that there are no real consequences for people who make false claims. He made it clear that the courts must protect real victims, but they must also protect innocent people from being accused without any real proof. Those are very strong words from a man who is clearly standing his ground. Jay-Z may have put this case behind him, but the story is far from over. The dismissal has only raised more questions about what is really happening behind the scenes. At the same time, Sean Combs is still facing serious legal troubles, and the difference between his situation and Jay-Z's is very clear. The attention on both of them is not going away anytime soon. Some people see this as a win for Jay-Z and Diddy, but others believe it is not a complete victory. In fact, some say it was a setback for their legal team. Why? Because the judge was not very kind to Jay-Z during the process. Diddy's situation is very different, and the way the judge responded almost felt like a lesson being given. It is like when a child asks for something, and instead of saying yes or no, you tell them to wait, behave, and then come back later. So what happens now? Does this victory mean Jay-Z can finally move forward without any more controversy? Or is this just a quiet moment before another storm? And what about Sean Combs? Is there any chance he can turn things around? Or is he now facing the results of his past actions? The questions about Sean Combs still do not have clear answers, but one thing is sure: this story is not over yet. As new information comes out, the difference between truth, rumor, and speculation will only become more unclear. Jay-Z has achieved a lot in his career, but he has a unique way of handling things, and not everyone likes it. Judge Torres seems to be one of those people. This is now the second time the judge has stepped in to take control of the situation, almost as if trying to shape how these cases are seen. He has even held press conferences before making big decisions, making it clear that he wants to control how the story is told. Judge Torres did the same thing before with Mayor Adams, and now he is doing it again with Jay-Z. He goes to the press, shares his side of the story, and almost turns it into a public presentation. But just when it looks like things might finally calm down, a new rumor is spreading fast. People are now talking about a possible secret deal between Jay-Z and the FBI. This kind of behind-the-scenes drama is exactly what keeps everyone watching. So, what is the truth behind this alleged deal? Could this really be the reason Jay-Z walked away from this scandal without his reputation being damaged? Jay-Z's quick and clean victory in this lawsuit has made many people curious. The case against him had problems from the start. There were contradictions, no strong proof, and even an interview where Jane Doe admitted she was not sure about some details. But even with all these issues, it is rare to see someone as famous as Jay-Z come out of a legal battle completely untouched, especially when the accusations were so serious. On the other hand, his longtime friend Sean Combs seems to be drowning in legal trouble with no way out. So, what really happened? Let us take a closer look. That is where the rumors begin. Some people believe that Jay-Z may have received help from powerful connections, including the FBI. Right now, there is a careful balance between giving the public the information they want and making sure the defense has enough details to prepare for the trial. At the same time, there are serious concerns about how all of this may affect the alleged victim emotionally. It is clear that if her identity becomes public, she will face a lot of pressure from the media. Her lawyers, social media, and the public will all have strong reactions. She could face pressure from every direction. Now, let us not forget that Jay-Z is not new to handling big challenges. He has built his empire from nothing, moving through the tough industries of music, business, and entertainment with great skill. So, is it really impossible to believe that he made a smart move to protect himself and his family? According to rumors, Jay-Z may have shared some important information with the FBI in return for their support. Some people think Jay-Z might have shared important details in return for protection or at least to make sure he was not targeted anymore. There is no clear proof of this, but the timing of his legal victory has made many people curious. Think about it. The case was dropped right when Jay-Z's lawyers were working hard to prove the claims were false. Was it just a coincidence? Maybe. But some believe he might have made a secret deal, giving away something valuable to turn things in his favor. If that is true, the big question is, what kind of information did Jay-Z share? Could it be about Sean Combs, who is already facing serious legal trouble? Or could it be that Jay-Z's rumored cooperation with the FBI has left Sean Combs to deal with everything alone, carrying the full weight of the justice system? That is the big question people are asking. It also makes people wonder about their long friendship. Jay-Z and Combs have been close for years, working together, appearing at big events side by side, and supporting each other's businesses. But when the situation is this serious, even strong friendships can be tested. As people say, business is business, and if these rumors are true, that might be exactly what happened. If the talk about Jay-Z making a deal is true, it makes you wonder how Sean Combs feels about it. Did he see it coming, or did it take him by surprise? Or is their relationship more complicated than it seems? Some people believe that tension between them has been building for a long time. They have both been successful for years, and while they always show respect for each other in public, things behind the scenes might not be so simple. Could this lawsuit be a sign that there is more going on between them? Could Jay-Z's rumored deal with the FBI be the moment that truly tests his friendship with Sean Combs? It is definitely possible, and many people will be watching closely to see what happens next. As for the lawsuit, it seems like the case started falling apart when the woman's claims were not properly checked. Once the problems in her story became clear, they decided to step away from the case. In return for dropping it, it looks like the plaintiff's lawyers will not be held responsible for any mistakes in how they handled everything. Neither side will face any real trouble. The lawyers will not be punished, and they will not lose their right to work. Both sides will just move on. But for now, Jay-Z is winning. His public words show that he sees this as a big moment, not just for himself, but for anyone who has ever been falsely accused. May the truth win for all victims and for those who are falsely accused, he said. His words sound strong and confident. Some people may doubt him, but for now, he is standing tall. Some may wonder if Jay-Z truly means what he says, but there is no doubt that he has come out of this situation with his reputation mostly untouched. In a world where celebrities are watched and judged so closely, that is not something many can easily do. On the other hand, Sean Combs is in a completely different situation. As he waits for his trial, the pressure on him is getting heavier. His legal team keeps saying that the accusations are false and made by people who just want money or attention. But with more and more claims coming up, it is getting harder to ignore them. These serious charges have made many people wonder if this could be the downfall of the man once known as Puff Daddy. If Sean Combs is found guilty, it will not just be a personal loss, it could destroy the legacy he spent years building. A United States judge has now decided that the rapper and producer will face trial on federal trafficking and racketeering charges in May. Until then, he will stay in prison. Combs has pleaded not guilty, saying he did not use his business empire to move women and male workers across state lines for illegal reasons. If Sean Combs is found guilty, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. But here is where things become even more interesting. Some people think that his legal troubles might actually help Jay-Z. Right now, all eyes are on Combs. His situation is so serious that any questions about Jay-Z's involvement could fade into the background. People are so focused on Combs that they might not pay much attention to Jay-Z at all. In other words, as Combs struggles with his legal battles, Jay-Z might be able to move forward without much trouble.